and welcome to another Wildlife Wednesday. I'm Chesney.
And I'm Lucy, and thanks for joining us today. It is the end of our regular Wildlife Wednesdays. The winter's here, and we thought we'd be responsible and not hassle the wildlife since it's so hard to survive through the winter. But we thought it'd be a great day to come down to the Green River and segue into another schedule of Wildlife Wednesdays with the Kokanee salmon, the late run, and check out to see how the salmon are doing.
All right, let's go check out.
Let's go do it. So we're down here at the Green River. It's about 24 degrees. There's still plenty of open water down here, so we've already come up upon lots of ducks and geese and a few coot down here. The salmon are still spawning. If you remember, about a month ago we introduced you to the Kokanee salmon spawning down at Sheep Creek Canyon. That was the early run of Kokanee salmon. This is the late run. They're at the end of their run. It takes them about 4 years to spawn. They gather to lay their eggs, and then they actually pass away, and they provide nutrients in the water here for other animals that feed on them. There's still a few kokanee down here to see. We recommend you come on down to the river and check them out. They should be here for a few more weeks or so spawning, and they're just fun to watch. So when the males and females come together every 4 years, the female lays her eggs, and it needs to be in fairly shallow, not so deep water where there's small gravel, so she can lay her eggs in there. The male comes along and fertilizes those eggs, and then the cycle's complete here and they pass away. It's kind of neat. It's actually really interesting that Wyoming has the only active brood stock for Kokanee salmon eggs. And what a brood stock is, it's a stock of fish that's kept actually up at Tillett Springs rearing station north of Lovell, and they collect the eggs from the adult male and females after they spawn. It's brand new in the United States, and Wyoming has the only active brood stock for the Kokanee salmon. Wyoming Game and Fish stocks about 2 million, almost 2 million Kokanee salmon a year here in Wyoming. Our anglers, whether they're resident or non-resident, love to catch kokanee. It's a really popular fish. Remember, if you are fishing the river or the gorge, you need to release any kokanee caught through November 30th, and that's so we protect those eggs so we have them next year as adult kokanee salmon. So take care of your kokanee salmon. Get on down here and see them. So when winter comes, animals have to change or adapt. Chesney and I were just talking about how it's really cold and it takes us a while to adapt to winter before we finally get over it and we're used to the cold temperatures. If you think about birds or mammals or fish or amphibians, what do they do in the winter? Well, if they don't migrate out of here and they don't change, they're not going to survive. So think about it. Your big game animals, they'll get rid of those antlers to get that extra weight off. Some of them had hollow hair so that when the wind goes in and out, it's like friction and warms them up. You'll notice them laying on south-facing slopes, and that's to collect the sun, and they don't move. So that's why it's really important for people like Chesney and I not to chase the critters around, and we're going to back off a little bit while the winter is here. If you're a fish, well, you just go deeper into the water and you go dormant, unless you're a burbot, also called a ling, and they're real active in the wintertime, and that's what a lot of folks are gearing up for, be ice fishing for ling and possibly lake trout. The birds, well, they just get fatter if they don't migrate, grow more feathers, animals grow more hair, and some actually freeze in the ground and they'll thaw in the spring. A lot of our species of frogs do that. So remember your winter wildlife. Everybody needs to eat in the winter, including the beaver. Unfortunately, one of these nice trees down at the park was eaten by a local beaver. Beavers are actually great for the environment, for the ecosystem here, and that's because they block the water, and then the duck comes, and then all the animals that need that water come. But when they get out of control, get a hold of your local game and fish, your government trapper, and maybe put some cages around your trees so this doesn't happen to your trees.
Thank you so much for joining us for another Wildlife Wednesday, and just a reminder, thanks to the city crews, the Greenbelt pathway is plowed throughout the winter, so you can get out here and enjoy and take a walk on those warmer winter days and still see some of the different types of wildlife that come through our area during the winter.
Yeah, don't let winter shut you down, folks. Get out your skis, your snowshoes, or your snow boots. Just come on and walk, and don't forget to look down. There's lots of signs, tracks, and scats. You can figure out what kind of animals were here. Remember also, this is the last, I'm kind of sad, Chesney, our last regular Wildlife Wednesdays. Again, it's getting really hard to find winter animals that are out here, so we're going to back off for a while, but as the days start to warm up periodically, we'll be out catching wildlife safely from a safe distance, and keep checking in on our wonderful Wyoming wildlife.
Yeah, and we'll be tagging along with some game and fish in the future.
Yeah,
right?
hopefully
So-
ice fishing's coming up. We'll try to tag along with those folks and keep you informed about ice fishing in Sweetwater County.
All right, well, we'll see you soon.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.